of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks everybody for being here. We have the agenda in front of us. Does anybody have any changes? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve the council as, I guess, revised. We got a little, the consent agenda is revised since we received it, so.
Make a motion to approve the, we'll call it revised agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Rick, second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. All right, agenda is approved. Guests and open forum. Hillary Dawson's here to talk about the Great River Regional Library. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share how the Becker Library is serving the residents of Becker. My name is Hillary Dawson, and I am the Library Services Coordinator for the Becker branch of the Great River Regional Library. I would like to take a few minutes to talk about library resources and how patrons interact with the library, and then finish up with a few statistics. What comes to mind when you hear the word library? Most people would say books, stacks and rows and shelves of books. This is no surprise. After all, the dictionary definition of library is a building or room containing collections of books, periodicals, online resources for people to read, borrow, and refer to. I think that's a bit dry. So I invite you to think of the library as a place of stories, wonder, connection, and inspiration. Those stacks and rows and shelves of books provide an opportunity for entertainment and education. Through fictional stories, whether told in a book or a movie, we have the opportunity to see the world from another's perspective, connect with characters, and be inspired. Our nonfiction collection offers everything from comics to North Shore hiking guides, history and biographies, Thai cookbooks, and more. The library resources encourage the joy of lifelong learning. Beyond the shelves, we have a number of digital resources that surprise both adults and children. Novelist is one of those library joy kind of resources. When you don't know what to read next, Novelist can help you find your next favorite book. Based on book preferences, Novelist connects readers to similar titles, authors, book lists, and genre guides. If you want something more educational, you can access practice driving tests, LinkedIn Learning, or Chilton Library, just to name a few. The library provides a selection of essential practice materials for free as part of its partnership with drivingtests.org. This is a fantastic opportunity to practice real exam-like questions when preparing for a learner's permit, a driver's license, CDL, or motorcycle license. LinkedIn Learning offers training in business topics like marketing or career development, technologies such as database management or AI, and creativity like photography or web design. The Chilton database offers service and repair procedures, a video library, and ASE test prep quizzes. Looking for something for kids? We have Tumble Books, offering ebooks, read-alongs, and animated storybooks with quizzes and book report templates. Or you can go to Pebble Go, which offers articles, videos, activities, and games covering topics like animals, biographies, states, and such. These are just a few of the databases offered, all for free with a library card. Library programming can also provide a sense of wonder and inspiration by giving patrons opportunities to explore and engage with the topic or an experience that is presented. We offer programs about arts and crafts, gardening, animal keeping, music, history, and culture. Patrons often leave these programs interested, educated, and inspired to try something new. Attending book club can encourage us to read outside of our normal genre, and story time connects families with each other as well as the library resources. Inspiration to go anywhere and be anything can be found through library resources and programming. So that's a quick peek at some of the library's resources and services. Now let's take a look at the structure of Great River and a few of the statistics. So Great River Regional Library is one library system serving 6 counties through 32 different individual branches. Our mission is to serve all central Minnesotans with library collections and services. We are able to do this because of the way that Great River is structured. First, we have a floating collection. This means that every library card holder has access to everything in our collection regardless of where the item is currently housed. Patrons who call our smallest branches home can access and request items not housed in their home branch. Library services are also available to everyone regardless of branch size or location. Through opportunities like Book a Librarian, where a librarian actually comes to you at your branch to help you work through whatever it is that you're needing, or technology that allows us to offer services like Print to Go. Whether one walks into the St. Cloud Library, our largest branch, or any of our smaller branches, the opportunity to access items and services is the same. All branches in our system value exceptional service, forward thinking, and community focus. The statistics under Great River by the numbers on this slide represent Great River as a whole, the collective branches serving Sherburne County, and the Becker Library. The statistics on this slide are specific to Becker. Becker Public Library has 2,532 borrowers. Please excuse that typo on the screen. The library houses more than 15,000 items, circulated over 50,000 items, and had 4,500 information requests in 2025. We registered 384 students for Summer Reading Challenge and 83 adults and teens for Winter Reading Challenge. This slide displays a few of our programs. We offer Storytime and Book Club on a regular schedule, puzzle tournaments, author visits, art and craft opportunities. All of those are offered periodically. They're all well received and attended by our community. In other library news, we have added a decodable books collection through our locally grown fundraiser. Our connections with the community are being fostered through outreach and partnerships, such as the Sherburne County Public Health Family Celebration, Touch a Truck, Becker Schools Art Show, which is going to open on Thursday, so come and join us for that. That's a fantastic opportunity to see what the kiddos are doing in school. And we also invite the first graders in for goal. The supportive roles of our Becker Friends of the Library and library volunteers play an indispensable role in our ability to serve the community, so I want to thank them as well. This concludes the Becker Library's annual update, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, questions from council?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Hillary. Appreciate the job you're doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else here tonight to speak at open forum? All right, we will move on then to committee reports, presentations, and awards. We have the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Sarah Rathlisberger is here. Hope I said that right.
That is right.
All right.
It's long but phonetic. Good evening or afternoon, whichever you want to classify the current time, Mayor and Council. I am here on behalf of the Minnesota Government Finance Officers Association to officially present the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, or COA, to the City of Becker for the year ended December 31st, 2024. The city's 2024 Audited Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, also known as an ACFR, was prepared and submitted to the National GFOA by June 30th of 2025. And the city was recently notified of the award after review by an impartial panel of peer professionals from across the nation. This panel evaluates the city's report against high standards of the program, including a 600-plus checklist of items that need to be met. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition for governmental accounting and financial reporting. Its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management, signifying that Becker's financial statements go beyond basic reporting and requirements and clearly communicate the city's financial condition to residents, policymakers, investors, and oversight bodies. Earning the COA demonstrates three key things. First, it reflects a strong commitment to transparency and accountability. As I mentioned, the report is reviewed by independent finance professionals to ensure it is accurate, well organized, and easy to understand, or as easy as you can possibly make a financial report. Understandable. Second, it highlights excellence in financial management. Achieving the COA means Becker is following nationally recognized best practices in governmental accounting and reporting. And third, and probably most importantly, it builds public trust and credibility. The certificate reassures taxpayers, grantors, and bond rating agencies that the city manages public funds responsibly and openly. This is the third consecutive receipt of the award. A couple years ago, Mark did quite a bit of work to get it. Once you kind of have it, it's a little bit easier to get it each year. But this is the third time, and the city is in the process of preparing the 2025 ACFR for submission for a fourth award. I want to recognize Mark and the finance team and the rest of management for the hard work put into this achievement. I've known Mark for many years, we won't say how many, but he actually was a part of the interview that started my career in government finance, and I owe a lot to his guidance and mentorship. Also, I'd like to recognize the city for its commitment to excellent financial reporting, especially since I personally am a resident. So thank you for that, and congratulations on the award. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. All right.
Picture of that.
Did you get a picture, Don? No, I didn't. We can take a minute to allow you to do that if you'd like to get that done.
Shake hands.
Not staged at all, we're good. Thank you, Sarah. Congratulations, Mark, and all of our finance staff. We commend you for this awesome achievement and look forward to many more years of you receiving it. So thank you very much. Sarah, thanks for coming out, and you won't be rude if you have to leave. We understand you're probably busy, so you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. All right. Committee meetings, EDA is up.
EDA met on Monday, April 13th. We talked about our reserve funds and just talked about ideas about what we might use those for, and no decisions were made. We'll be getting more ideas put together, something more solid. And then a planning update, the Luann project, they received the TIF applications and escrow money. And that's all I have for you.
All right. Any questions for Robin? Thank you very much. Fire Board, Rick.
Fire Board, we met last night. We had an update on the audit process, the annual audit, so that'll be being presented to us, I think the first week of June, is it? Or for the June meeting, I guess would be not the first week, but third week of June. The calls in March were similar to what they were in 2025, so no spikes or dips. And then just an update on the grass rig, it continues, it's being built right now, and that's continuing. And then one of the computers that runs in the radio room died, so we had to authorize the purchase of another one. So that was about it.
All right. Any questions for Rick? Awesome. We'll move on then to number 7 on the agenda, public hearings. We have a building permit fee schedule amendment. Jacob Sanders. And should we open the public hearing now?
Yeah.
All right, it's open.
Great. Thank you, Mayor, Council.
5:14, sorry.
That's all right. We have before you tonight the fee schedule amendments for the building official services. So at the last council meeting, we had Rum River here talking about the proposed contract that they submitted and the fee schedule amendments. So you'll notice in the packet that there's 2 ordinances. They relate to each other. We kept the fee schedule for the building permits separate from the main fee schedule, although it's referenced in the updated fee schedule. So we took everything out of the existing one, reference to Exhibit A, except for the card fees that we need to keep in there when people use their cards here for the permitting software that we use and the payment system. So with that, we've relied on the 97 UBC for a long time. And with the shift to Rum River, we need to update the fee schedule to accommodate for their services to align with statutory requirements, and to really, they've gone through a lot of work to make this kind of more defensible, understandable. It is more comprehensive, you'll notice, but it covers everything. And it does make it more transparent to what people are getting charged and the square footages that they're getting charged for when they come to valuation. So with that, we would be seeking a motion and a second to approve the ordinance number 301 second series and ordinance 301 exhibit A and the second series summary for publishing. And with that, I will answer any questions. So it is an increase, so that the public is aware there is an increase in these fees, but it's not, it's kind of in alignment with what the market sees, and it's not exorbitant increases in what we're seeing. So.
Okay. Is there anybody here tonight to speak at the public hearing? Okay, we'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
We'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion by Rick, seconded by Robin. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. All right, public hearing is closed. I have one question, Jacob.
Yeah.
Let's say we do this for a year and a half or whatever. We decide we want to go back to our own building official. How does this process affect that?
So I think with the current ones that you have in here, we could take a look at it at that time to make sure it fits with our, if it's a loaded wage for a building official, all of those things, is it's covering the staff time, the inspections. So we can make sure it covers that. I anticipate that with the length of time we've gone under the old UBC, that it's probably in alignment with what we would see. Or that with that, we did increase the fees, if you recall, a few years ago to 65 on over the counter, $15 up. We're going to do that incrementally anyway to cover some of those costs. So, but at the time, if we do come back with an internal official, we would make sure that the numbers are in alignment with that.
Okay.
I just anticipate that they probably are.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Jacob? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance 301 second series and ordinance 301 second series exhibit A.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Robin, second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. That motion carries. Then we need a motion to publish the aforementioned ordinances.
I'll make that motion as well.
And I'll second that one.
Okay, motion by Robin, second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. That motion carries as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. All right. Board, committee, and consultant reports. We have a pond lining for hole number 10 at Pebble Creek. Mr. Knutson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In front of you tonight, we're considering a pond liner on hole number 10. It's kind of a funky project because the reason it coincides with our street improvements, CASA 23 and Edgewood. As we started the design work on Edgewood, we knew that we needed to, because of the state standards of the road design, we needed to capture some of that water through curb and storm. But we didn't have any place to convey that water. We're getting that trail out of the ditch and we need to put that water someplace. So instead of working with property owners to try and acquire additional right-of-way or easement, we thought if we could convey it to the course, it might serve a couple of purposes. One, we pump a lot of water into those ponds to keep the amenities looking good on the course. And if we could capture some of the rainwater, fill the ponds up, and then create overflows into our other ponds, ultimately ending on the irrigation pond, we could recycle our own water and make it efficient by doing so. Unfortunately, pond 10, on hole 10, is clay lined, similar to what we just did on pond number 4, and so it's losing a lot. The clay liner is been punctured, and we're losing a lot of water there, so we're pumping a lot of water nightly to keep that amenity full. So while we do this project, it'll be in conjunction with the street projects as well, so we can inlet some of that water. We can hold it at pond 10 to the level that we want to. There'll be a spillway with this project that'll connect a 10-inch pipe from number 10 to number 4 pond. The spillway on number 4 pond is the creek that runs down to the irrigation basin, and then we'll pump that right back up. We do have a spillway on the irrigation basin that will release it to the Elk River and the watershed there if we need to. So with that, we worked with 2 different companies, actually 3. Ultimately, Ruck did not bid on this project. G&M companies did, as did DW companies. DW, if you recall, they were the low bid on pond number 4. They were not the low bid on this project. We were asking for 2 different bids. One to do the pond liner itself. It'll include a drain tile under the pond to release any gases and or water seepage that gets out. And also to do a directional drill, combination of directional drill and open cut to connect the pond. It's roughly 400 feet to connect 10 to 4. G&M submitted both of those bids. Their combined bid on the project came in at about $115,000. DW came in just for the pond liner, came in at $123,000. So we were anticipating right around that 110, 120, so it was where we were at, and we were looking to do the connection ourselves as staff, and working with the golf course staff through Public Works. I'm pleased to say I don't want to do that if we don't have to because of the timing of the course and the disruption of the course. So tonight in front of you, I would look for a motion to approve this, which would be able to accomplish both of those projects. And I've put a little bit of a contingency in there just in case there's something unforeseen that we don't know or unaware of right now. So the total ask is about $122,000. The funding of this is going to be part of the Edgewood Street improvement projects. And so depending on where that bid hasn't been let yet, so we don't know where those numbers are coming in. So depending on where those dollars reside, this could come from the future improvement that will also fund any overages on that. So working with finance team to make sure that we're keeping all of this separate because it is kind of funky, but we're running them in parallel to make it all happen. And yeah, it's a great project. There's an environmental aspect to it. So it kind of touches a lot of things, but also a big need for that trail too. So with that, I can stand for any questions. Otherwise, looking for movement on that resolution.
All right, any questions for Phil?
Nope.
Assuming timing-wise, it'll all be coordinated with the county, and that's the plan to get it.
Our goal is to get as much of our work done and out of there. We're not impeding the county. Next meeting, we'll have a trail, a cart path that we're repositioning that would be in the way of the county's project. So that'll be on May 5th. We'll bring that back to you. This one is really more dependent on course play, and if the contractor is likely to get started ASAP if this is approved, and then we can get it done prior to the state tournament. If that timing doesn't line up, then it's after the state tournament. That's our premier event, so we got to make sure the course is, and they'll be held to that standard. If they disturb anything, it's got to be over and done and reseeded and ready to go for the tournament. So they could start as soon as next week. Otherwise, it'll be towards the end of June.
And this is really in lieu of us not doing full stormwater under Edgewood. I mean, this is much cheaper than if we were to run a stormwater pipe, which is what originated this.
Yep. So in conjunction, currently there's a drain pipe that goes. It feeds to the golf course, to the ditch. It's more in line with Edgewood, and it's about 200 feet south of the pond. So with the new alignment of Edgewood, or the new project, that drain pipe is gonna move north and come perpendicular into the pond. So it'll be a direct flow, and the outlet will release right into the pond, so there'll be no surface water sitting anywhere on the course or impact any of the play. Mm-hmm. So, and yeah, any ditching, right now, the width of Edgewood with the trail being there, we're just run out of room to make stuff fit. And we know the flooding of that trail from Brenda to 23 is the worst section of it. So we need to get that water someplace. So conveying that into the county drain system through onto our course, it's a win for everybody involved with it, property owners, users of the trail, and the county, so.
Mm-hmm. And it just happened to be cheaper alternatives, not, so, I mean,
Yep.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions for Phil? Hearing none, would someone like to offer a motion on resolution 2629 to allow staff to enter into the agreement with G&M companies for the pond liner project on hole 10?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Rick, do we have a second?
I'll second.
And Becky seconds. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries.
Awesome, thank you.
You're up again, sorry.
Yes. I'm waiting for the announcement. No? Okay.
Oh, sorry. The 2026 Street Improvements Bid Award.
You know, Phil, he doesn't do anything without a presentation. Come on.
That was my cue to go, so I was just like.
Mr. Knutson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. In front of you tonight, yes, is the opportunity to award bids for our 2026 street improvement projects. If you recall back on the 17th of March, you authorized us to take this project out for bid. On April 13th, at 2 o'clock, we had a bid opening. So we had 4 bidders for the project. The bids ranged from $1,337,622 to $1,442,913. So favorable bid compared to what we were anticipating through some of the oil prices and the fuel prices and all that stuff. Very favorable bid. Again, what we're bidding are a couple of base bids. Base bid A, Hillcrest Road, Pineview Drive from River's Edge to Rolling Ridge Road, Jade Street, 35th Avenue, new connection, Martin Drive, Carroll Drive from Abbey Avenue to Laura Circle, Abbey Avenue, and Twyla Avenue. Along with that, we also included the new parking lot for the Public Works facility. Base bid B is, if you remember back to the quiet zone, the state or BNSF give us the thumbs up to say, okay, put it into this year's projects. So there's some curbing that needs to be done to find that quiet zone in compliance with their standards. So we held that out. It's likely to come from the street CIP anyhow, because we're improving the street, but we just wanted to know what that number was specifically. So that was part of that. We also had an alternate for the wear course on Birdie Lane. The development over there. We're working with the developer on that. So it's a little bit unique tonight because the bid come back, he's not made the commitment. He wanted to get another bid from a contractor that he and his partner use a lot, using same standards that we have and all that stuff. They'll go through the same inspection regardless who the contractor is. So I'd be looking for movement to accept everything here, but we wouldn't award that portion of the agreement unless we got an agreement in place with the developer. So we would just have another contract there. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of iron involved with that. It's really just raising the manholes and using the ring. So it's pretty easy to get. We don't have to order much for that. So I think it'll work out okay. So with that, we'll isolate all of these costs because we've got some different funding coming from Public Works CIP, the Jade and 35th, because that's future improvements that'll be there. We'll work with the developer on that as well. So already work with finance as far as how those codes will be set up, so we can really itemize every dollar where it should go and put it in the right bucket. So overall, we're very pleased with the bids that came back. One thing of note, Capital Paving is the one who's the low bid. They've resurfaced, for the most part, it's OMG or Minnesota Paving 2.0. Most of the folks that were there, New Look, I believe it's New Look, right, Randy? Yeah, New Look is the financial backing for this company, and it's their paving division. So it's a lot of the same players that we've worked with, the same project manager we've had that they've been low bid for. This will be their 4th year in a row. So we've got a really good rhythm there and a really good communication. So staff's pretty excited that this is where it's at. So. And then, like I said, Randy's in the audience, so if you've got any questions for Randy. Randy, do you have anything to add? Okay. Okay. So with that, I can stand for any questions if you guys have them. Otherwise, looking for a bid to move forward with Capital Paving as our 2026 street improvement contractor.
All right. Any questions for Phil or Randy? If not, we'd entertain a motion for Resolution 2630 to award the contract for the 26th Street Improvement Project.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Becky and a second by Rick. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carried. Any idea when street projects will start?
I'm guessing we're gonna have probably a 10-day, maybe 2-week contract window, so we'll get that going. Typically, we don't see them in town until after Memorial Day. But we'll work on a Q&A that we'll send out to those impacted, and then we'll keep it current on our website as well. So I'm guessing we'll see something late May or first week in June. Okay. There's nothing directly impacting Freedom Days, the parade and stuff, but we'll keep a tight eye on that. They've been very respectful of that, and Jerry Siegfried with SEH will be our on-site inspector again, and he's he's got it down. He knows what we need and where we need it, so. But more to come, so residents can kind of keep tabs on our website. We'll keep pushing messages out that way. And then those impacted along the way will be getting direct mail pieces to keep the information flowing to them as well.
Fantastic. All right, thank you very much. All right, letter C, the 2026 Street Life Extension Microsurfacing. Mr. Ellison.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I have for you an RCA and Resolution 2626 for our Street Life Extension. We're proposing microsurfacing on First Street. We're going from Gardner all the way to Edgewood and Bradley Boulevard from First Street to Third Street. So microsurfacing is a life extension practice. We've discussed it with our Public Works Committee. We've used it a few times here in the city of Becker. We applied it on Third Street in 2021, and we used it in several different areas in 2024, Elkwind, Fossum Fields, Hancock Street, Liberty Lane. So it's something we've used. We've been happy with the results from it. This particular version will be 2 applications. The first application would be to kind of fill in cracks, smooth out the surface. The second application would be more of the wear course to provide some more wearability and friction on the surface, so it provides a good surface for travelers and a safe surface. We did get 2 bids for the project, Aztec and Farner. Aztec did provide the lower bid. We do have money available from 2 locations, our MSAS funding. We can use some of that because these are defined as MSAS streets. So we can use some of that to cover the costs, and then we also have $85,000 budgeted in our streets AIP for this type of work. Yeah, I think that's all I had. This is going to also help us in the fact that we can extend the life. So we look for an extension of life of 6 to 10 years, probably leaning more towards the 6-year mark based on the traffic that we have in those streets. Third Street is on year 5 now, and it's done well, but it's starting to show a little bit. So, but that will help us push these streets out in our CAP. First Street, that entire stretch was, part of it was due in 2028 for a full reclaim and pave. The other part was 2031, so this should get us out to at least 2032. Bradley, that section was due in 28, so again, we can move that to 2032. Really looking at those streets as not sure that we would get to those years without some kind of work to the street. This would be a cost-effective way to get us there, and in a good way too. So rather than our just crack filling and pothole filling, this will make those streets in good shape for at least another good 5 to 6 years for sure. And with that, tonight then I'd look for a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2626, authorizing staff to contract with Aztec to complete microsurfacing work as described in the RCA for a price not to exceed $128,600. With that, I will stand for any questions.
All right, questions for Chris? Is this a different contractor than did Hancock?
Yes, that was Farner, the other one that quoted, so. Okay. Yep, the biggest difference between these two would be Farner uses a truck to apply, so they have the applicator on the back of a truck. Aztec uses a paver, so if you watch any of the MnDOT videos, they say you should only use a paver when you're doing this work. So that said, we're fairly pleased with Farner in the work they've done, but the price from Aztec was better, and now we'll get to see how their application process works with the paver. So. Yep.
Yeah, I felt like when the Hancock Street was done, there was a lot of public complaint about it. That was before my time on council, but I heard from a lot of people about that one.
We did, so we did get the looks of it when it was first applied. We do have some areas that we had worked with Farner and discussed kind of their end product and how we weren't satisfied with some of the looks. As far as the functionality of the application, it has done what it's supposed to do, at least for the first 2 years so far. But yes, we did have comments on, I hope you didn't pay money for that, it looks terrible. So it's, the application process, it's not new pavement, so it's not gonna have that same look. And I think some people were expecting it to have the look of new pavement. It's not that. It's definitely a preservation process. One of the things we like about this process is that it sets up very quickly, so you can put traffic back onto it within an hour. So that is a very advantageous piece to this, and it's affordable in the grand scheme of things, so, yep.
All right.
We were cognizant of that, yes.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have, if we're saying we're gonna pay for it out of the MSAS funds, don't we have all those tied up with Edgewood for the next 5 years?
a percentage of it is used, can be used for maintenance as well, so that we would use a percentage of that cover maintenance cost. I believe that's, well, has to be, even better.
You have to allocate a portion of it.
Okay.
We allocate the smallest amount required for maintenance.
Okay,
Good question.
great. Any other questions for Chris? All right, and we're looking for a motion on resolution 2626, authorizing staff to contract with Aztec for microsurfacing not to exceed $128,600.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Robin. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Rick. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries. Thank
you.
you, sir. All right, moving on to administrator and staff reports. Mr. Sanders is back up with the building official professional services agreement.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So part 2 of what we talked about earlier. With, again, the recent resignation of the building official, we met with Rum River, who we have a current contract with. It's hourly based, which is $95 an hour, which is what we will be billed for this last little bit, which is very expensive, very quick. So with that, the current contract has a few different percentages for plan review share, ranging from 75 to 90% for some state delegated. The new contract would go to an 80% share, or I should say, Rum River will retain 80% of the plan review and permit fee for just general. And for pre-existing and state delegated, it's 85% of both the plan review and the permit fee. So that's more across the board rather than all over the place, and rather than an hourly rate for the permit inspections. So we would retain a percentage of that. And again, this was kind of talked about at the executive session. So the attorney did review the agreement. They did make some changes based on the attorney's comments. And the draft contract does have some exhibits in there. Again, you'll notice that there's some state delegation in there, which is important. That's been pretty advantageous to the city for plumbing over the years. And so this would include a number of other state delegations that we would be getting with Rum River on top of that, which hopefully will save time for local developments. So with that, we would be seeking a motion and a second approving resolution 2627 to approve the professional services agreement with Rum River Consultants for designated building official services. And with that, I will answer any questions.
All right, any questions for Jacob?
Nope.
Hearing none, does someone want to offer a motion on resolution 2627 to appoint and enter into our agreement for our building services?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Rick, second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. And that motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
You're up again for the Northland Securities TIF Assistance Professional Services Agreement.
You're gonna be sick of me by the time I'm done. Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we have received, as Councilwoman Dingman said, we have received 2 applications for TIF. So it would be 2 separate TIF districts, and in order to analyze that, so Northland Securities acts as our consultant for public finance for a number of different things, so bonding, a number of different public finance projects on an as-needed basis. Because we don't have an existing contract with them, we need to have a service agreement. So similar to a supplemental agreement with engineering, this is a supplemental agreement for analyzing the TIF information. So Northland would complete that. Once the analysis is complete, the findings we would bring back to council to present the findings, what they mean for further discussion. So we wouldn't take any further steps because there are statutory requirements before you proceed with actually issuing the TIF. So creating a TIF plan, giving 30 days notice to county commissioners, to the school district and others. None of that would happen until council gives kind of the nod that yes, the analysis fits and Northland has done their analysis, presented it to you, and you give the approval to move forward should you wish to do that. So this really just takes it through the analysis. If it gets to the point to where the analysis checks the boxes, the project works, and you are comfortable with proceeding with tax increment financing, we would obtain the fees to complete the rest of the process from the developer. So with that, the attorney has also reviewed this agreement. Changes were incorporated, and motion and a second is what staff is seeking to approve, Resolution 2628, that would approve that professional services agreement with Northland for TIF assistance. And the payment for that analysis comes from the developer themselves. So they gave a $500 application and a $12,500 TIF escrow for a total of $13,000. And the not to exceed that Northland put is not to exceed 13 grand. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
All right, anybody have any questions for Jacob? If not, we'd entertain a motion for Resolution 2628, approving the professional services agreement with Northland for the TIF analysis.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Becky, a second by Robin. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. LaRude's up with a proposed change to section 6.27 of City Code, hours of operation for massage establishments.
Mayor Kobinger and City Council members, at the April 7th City Council meeting, the council heard from a licensed massage therapist request to expand hours. Currently, they are Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 o'clock, and on the weekends, they're 9 to 9. The request was to go from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day of the week. And at the exec session last time, the council directed staff to come back with an ordinance consistent with that. I'm not sure why in the packet the modified language didn't translate, so I did put a new one there. We'll have to figure out what's going on with PDF. It didn't copy, so that shows the changes made to the ordinance. And it was a relatively simple addition. And so I'll be happy to answer any questions about that. If there are not questions, would be seeking a motion and a second to approve ordinance 300 second series. You will notice that we don't have a summary for this one, and typically you would do a summary if you had a very long ordinance. We don't need to do summaries on short ones. In fact, by the time you got done doing a summary with this one, you might as well publish the language. And so that's why you won't see a summary here. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right. So we're letting people get a massage Saturday or Sunday morning from 6 to 9, if that's your thing.
Get one before church.
There you go. Freedom for a Weekend Early Morning Massage Act. Do we have anybody want to make them? We got to name it. I mean, so we're looking for a motion on approving ordinance 300 second series, revising that to allow the early morning massages.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Rick, second by Becky. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. That motion carries. All right. Hey, we'll take it. We'll get a clapping here. Thank you. Good luck with your early morning work. Thank you. All right. Next up, looks like it's insurance agent request for proposals.
Yep. Mayor Kobinger, City Council members, staff was contacted a couple of months ago by a local agent inquiring how they could become the city's insurance agent. We are with the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust, and they do require that we have an agent represent us. We have been with Corporate 4 for as long as anybody can remember. Subsequent to that, another local agent reached out to Mayor Kobinger asking the same question, different one. And so as staff, we thought the only way that we're gonna be able to look at this is by going through an RFP process so we can compare apples to apples. Corporate 4 has been advised that we were bringing this tonight, and they're welcome to submit a proposal. It's nothing to do with any service that we've received, but after a number of years, it's always a good idea to just kind of look at the field as well. So this RFP was prepared based on a model of another city. Mark and I included things that we thought would be, they would have to know in order to assemble a proposal. So all that's there. The deadline for these
is May 27th. I'm kind of envisioning that this would probably go to Finance Committee for an initial review before it came to the council. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So it's still the same carrier, no matter who does it, it's just the agent.
Any agent, licensed agent in Minnesota can be our agent.
Sure.
The agent mean that's who you call first, then if
We, as a staff, do almost all of the work. There's not a great need. It is nice to have some of that expertise. Sometimes they do go over the coverages. There's been this last time there were some changes about some general liability and liquor liability coverage. It's been helpful. But staff is largely manages the renewals and that type of activity.
So do they propose a percentage based on what our overall
They
premium
could
is?
do a percentage or a flat fee. Yep. I believe
just
it's
think it's-
flat fee now. Yeah.
I think it's great if we would have somebody qualified local to do it. We should try, so I'm definitely in favor of this. Any other questions for Greg?
Nope.
All right, we look for a motion on the, putting out the RFP to try to look at our insurance carrier.
I'll make
Make that motion.
a second.
A motion by Robin, second by Rick. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries. That will be great. Thank you very much. And consent agenda, Mr. LaRue again.
Mayor Colbinger and city council members, items for review, approval, or adoption on tonight's consent agenda include the revised hiring and termination report, authorize the Tuesday, April 21, 2026 payment of claims as presented. The claims listing has been provided to the city council as a separate document and is available upon request for public view at City Hall. The total claims are $334,242.68. Authorized electronic transactions as presented in the February 28th, 2026 journal. The journal has been provided to the city council as a separate document and is available for public view at City Hall upon request. Approve the minutes of the April 7th city council meeting. Approve the minutes of the April 7th executive session. Approve the minutes of the April 9th local board of appeal and equalization meeting. Approve the Axon Fleet System addition. Approve farm lease number 26-03 to Kasowski Group. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions for Greg on the consent agenda? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as revised?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as revised.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Rick, second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carried. Anybody else have any further business for the regular council meeting?
Nope.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Motion by Rick, second by Robin. All in favor of adjourning, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Meeting's adjourned at 5:48. Take a couple minute break and come back with the executive session.
Want that?
Oh, yes, thank you. That will help. Thank you very much.
Everyone knows about my stew now?
Your what?
I almost laughed because I was like so excited to get home to my beef stew. I spent like an hour and a half last night prepping everything so I could just throw it in the crock pot this morning. I was like running out the door.
Forgot it?
And left it?
No, it's fine. Everyone's at home. I just wasn't going to come to council. I was so excited to go eat it. I was just going to leave. You know, like my alarm went off and everything and I dismissed it. I was like, that can't be important. There's no way that's more important than my beef stew.
I don't know how to compete with beef stew, sorry.
I'm gonna go eat that.
Yeah, I don't know if I, believe you. I mean, you might have to, you know, I mean.
Bring a sample.
Yeah, I mean, you got a sample. I mean, there's only one way to decide.
I make it with my Dutch oven, but I wasn't there to attend it, you know, so.
No?
That's when it gets the most love, you know, but I'm around it more often. All right.
I would still eat it, I'm starving.
Right?
Thank you, I spilled coffee on the old one. I spilled coffee on the old one. Can you double check that I have the rate right, cause that's the 24 one.
Sure, Mike's not here, and we're gonna talk about solid waste discussion. It's his
Right?
favorite topic.
It is.
Snoozed, deloozed. Well, should we just do it?
Yep.
All right, we will call the April 21st executive session to order at 5:50. First up, we have our solid waste discussion and the draft ordinance with Mr. LaRude.
So Mayor Colbinger, at the January 6th work session, the council discussed the current city code as it relates to garbage and solid waste. And it's pretty obvious that the current code is very inadequate. That was included in with this packet. And so based on that discussion, you know, I think we had a discussion of really doing no change all the way up to, you know, full organized collection. That it was more centered on let's put some structure and some basic regulations into what we're doing right now. And so we took other cities' examples. I think they were shared at the January 6th work session. They became the basis of it. Incorporated the things in there that seemed to fit with what our direction was. Had city attorney review it, and so the draft before you tonight is based on that discussion. So we create a section of definitions, general regulations, which are really what the current code is right now. They are regulations for property owners in town that they need to properly dispose of garbage that they generate. Then there's requiring haulers to be licensed by the city. And the city attorney is very clear, we are not doing organized collection with this. This is just regulating garbage collection. And so we proposed in the ordinance that the number of licenses would be capped at current haulers. I guess we really don't know how many current haulers we have because we don't have any contact with them. So we'll have to work on that. There's an application process and requirements that they need to have. And then the collection requirements. So that's really the basis of the ordinance, and staff would just look for feedback and next steps.
The only thing I noticed, I think we had, somewhere I saw, it said 6, and I think we had talked about the number 7 for some reason. Was
Okay.
7 our current +1, or was it?
Just current it can be anything you want, Rick, but I think I put 6 in there because we thought we had 6.
Okay, so 6 ended up being what we,
And I think the discussion was if 1 goes away or gets bought out, we then change the ordinance to say we have 5.
yeah, we can do whatever we
You
want.
can do whatever you want, or you can keep it at 6 and 1's available.
So if we had to say this, as we summarize this, what would be, this would be more so to fill in maybe, hidden gaps that we were not, you know, people, that things could have happened that we just assumed there was an ordinance for and there's not, so we're kind of filling in those kind of what ifs. What would be some of the what ifs that we're kind of filling in here, because we're not going to organized collection, but
No.
why introduce the additional, overhead, I guess?
Well, the city regulates every other benefit to the property, right? The water sewer we are in control of. We have franchise agreements with electric and natural gas. We regulate sellers of liquor and tobacco. The garbage collection folks are users of our facilities. They use all of our streets. Everybody partakes in them. And setting some level of minimal standard, and getting it away, you know, as we talked last time, sometimes it is how you want to have your community. We don't want garbage trucks every day on our streets. It would be nice.
Quality of life.
Quality of life, thank you. And you can't do that without regulating it. You could ask nicely and say, well, geez, we'd like everybody to haul on Wednesday, but without having some regulations, you have very little say over that. That being one example.
Right. I know I sent Greg, and I know it's not a perfect thing, I think I sent it to Phil and Chris and Greg, but there's one study out there that says garbage trucks don't have to comply with road restrictions. And so they are hammering our roads. One study said one full garbage truck, it can be equivalent to between 3,000 and 12,000 cars daily. So think about that on some of our streets right now. I've had residents tell me they have 5 companies, which means that's 10 a week if you figure in recycling. 10 a week going down that road, that's somewhere between 30,000 and 100,000 vehicles a week. So to me, that was the impetus behind this. And then the safety issue too, with just the number of trucks. And I know in my cul-de-sac, I get woken up every time our garbage guy comes at 6 a.m. from the squeaky brakes. I don't know about anybody else, but not that we're gonna regulate their squeaky brakes. I get that, but I know we're not moving the full collection, but it's amazing the people you talk to that have it, they're paying way less, and they're dealing with one garbage truck and one recycling truck a week. So I see this as a really good first step to at least know who's in our community. I mean, right now, I don't know if the state licenses them, but
The county licensed haulers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's operating outside of the corporate limits.
Right.
The county licenses them, but that doesn't mean could it be somebody from outside the county?
I think, yeah, it could be, I think we
I
could
believe
work
at
with
least one of
somebody
them is in Wright County.
that's not licensed at Sherburne. I think if they had a hauler that was not licensed by the county but wanted to license with us, I think that would be permitted.
Well, there is at least one hauler right now that's based in Wright County, so,
They can be based anywhere.
yeah.
right, I think we have other haulers right now from outside the county.
Oh, for sure.
If Jim's is down here, they're Mille Lacs. I look at it this way, if you wanna knock on my door and try to sell me something, you have to have a peddler's permit, but we're just letting anybody drive any number of trucks across our street with zero oversight right now, and I don't think what's drafted here is overly oppressive by any means. I do know the part of, I almost think we have to by state law require recycling pickup.
The county does require it for their haulers.
I thought I read something that you have to charge more the bigger it gets, like there has to be a disincentive, if you will, to creating garbage. And I do think.
Part of the issue there is if you're gonna require each one to do recycling, you've likely doubled the number of trucks, cause they'll have a separate truck. The other thing you could do is organize recycling and contract with one hauler. And the city would be in charge of that. Recycling only.
Well, I've seen mixed, I mean, there's enough stories out there on recycling that show that it's not necessarily ending up in the spots where we all think we recycle it, it ends up and made into a new pop bottle or something. And there's enough stories out there where they drop little, tracking things in them and find out that they end up in landfills half the time anyway, so it's.
Yeah, different truck, same landfill.
Yeah, so I hate to, just so we feel better, let's do this, and we know the reality is a lot of the time and it's because of the cost. I mean, it's costing them more money to do it, so, you get in rural areas, a lot of them, they just run one truck, you just throw all your recycling in there and, so I guess I don't, if the state law requires it or something, then, maybe you just say whatever state law says, or if state law has it, then you do, but I think most people are gonna offer it anyway, just cause I think consumers are programmed enough to, well, hey, I want recycling. I think they'd ask for it, but, I mean, if somebody didn't and,
Yeah, I guess I don't care either if it's not state law. I thought I read that somewhere.
I don't know.
I think it was in the league brochure that was sent out.
Okay.
I thought one of the things they said, I thought it was required, but maybe that's only like 7-county metro or something. That kinda sounds like it might be a 7-county metro thing.
Yeah. Met Council put it on.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be a different story if it really were all ending up
Right.
recycled, that'd be a different story. I think that'd be a great idea, but if you're just gonna turn around and dump it in a landfill anyway,
Then you might as well do it cheaper.
You know, the other thing too that the city could do, and it wouldn't be part of the ordinance, is we could create something where we provide information on pooling with your neighbors, right? If you wanna go into a neighborhood contract and how you can make that happen as another way to just reduce the amount of traffic. 'Cause that's what we're trying to do, right? Improve quality of life, limit the amount of traffic, still giving people a choice of what they wanna do. And if they as a group wanna do it, they should be encouraged to do that.
that'd be cheaper. Would that be in the ordinance, or can we just do that?
We can just do that.
I mean, that's,
We could ask them when they apply for a license, if you're interested, like provide the information or something.
No, I have them do it? I'm,
cause
you know,
they're the
some of it,
beneficiary.
cause I asked the question of the attorney, and it was kind of at the end here, about if we're not organized fully, there is gonna be a limitation about what we can ask. For example, we cannot ask them to publish their rates. We might be able to ask them to publish a range. That might be one, kind of a consistent cancellation policy. Doubtful we can do that. So when we start getting into kind of contractually regulating the relationship, that's a different deal than what we're talking about doing here.
And that feels kinda, I don't know, that's, if we're not going down the route of organized collection, that kinda feels like we're kinda stepping in on, I mean, even though we'd be stepping in and what most people look at it and say, that's a bad deal what they're doing, but we got 6 providers, I mean, pick another one.
Right.
Right. Are they required then to follow, do we have anything in here about them following the solicitor's permit?
I don't believe so.
Okay, but they have to based on our other ordinances, correct?
Based as it currently stands now. Now, we could make them exempt from that if you wanted to, if we're gonna allow them, if they're gonna be a licensed, if they wanna go door to door, you can do it either way. You could exempt them if you wanted to. Now that they're a licensed group and they're not somebody just, fly by night.
I don't think I want to exempt them, I just want to make sure they're following that. Because what's the penalty for not following that? Is there one?
I don't know. There's probably a petty misdemeanor or something like that, but I wonder if we could do an administrative penalty.
$9,000.
Jeez.
Ding dong, do you have your permit? No, write me a check.
Yeah. Come to my house.
Or
first.
you knock on my door without the solicitor's permit, you get free garbage for a year.
Yeah.
How's that? Will that pass? Check the lawyer on that one.
Mark, we can, right now with solicitors, and we've dealt with the garbage companies door-to-door soliciting. I know I dealt with it last year with a couple, from one of the companies going door-to-door. So solicitor permit-wise, we enforce that, and so if there are the solicitors for the garbage companies coming in violation of the solicitor ordinance, then we just issue administrative citations, and or make that contact, let them know what the steps are to get that permit, and then send them back to City Hall before they can resume making contact to anybody. So we do have the administrative fine process for those.
Okay.
I could go either way on this, on that piece of it, cause if they're already licensed, if they're one of the 6 licensed in the city, if the goal of this is to reduce traffic, that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
I mean, if they're, if they're really pitching a better product and they're going door to door and they're successful, and let's say they get 25% of the town, our goal has been accomplished. So they're kind of doing I won't say our work for us, but they would be.
That'd be the effect.
But that it would assume that they're already one of the 6 or whatever.
Correct.
If they're not, then that's a different story.
If they're not, they can't come in.
Yeah, but if they are,
Can't
then
get a license.
you're just trying to you're moving the chairs around the deck, so it's, it could You know, if they got a screaming deal, you know, on something, and they're trying to gain 25% of the town or something, then
Right.
it would do that. On the other hand, last year, the one that we did have was a rather aggressive, now, in our scenario here, they would have been, no, because they weren't one of the 6 or whatever, but let's just say they were, and they send those same aggressive folks back. If they don't have a permit in the first place, then you get nothing to revoke. So, I guess that's,
Unless you revoke their
Well, I
license
was
now.
gonna say, you can revoke that for any reason you want to, right?
that'd be kind of, if you have two aggressive, say, let's say they have 10% of the town already, and they're sending out, and the 2 people they happen to send out are 2 knuckleheads that are aggressive, to revoke the entire town and say 10% of the city has to go find new garbage or whatever, that's a little.
Well, they can be aggressive, they just have to make sure they have their solicitor's permit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's, I guess I was saying that in response to, if you revoke their entire permit over to, you know, the guy gets his kids to go out or something, and they're a little too overzealous.
You know, there's not a revocation in here. There needs to be. There needs to be a revocation
Says
provision in
license-
here.
Says license can be suspended or revoked by city council.
On E.
We might want to, though, specify what
Would be.
they could have done wrong that would subject them to revocation.
Okay.
I don't, probably most people would like this, but 7 AM is kind of a late start for a garbage company. I'd rather see them on the road early and get the cans off the road before people go to work sometimes.
Anything can be changed. I just
Okay.
added this, and that's what other cities had, so.
And I don't know that I wanna hear them at 5, but I kinda think 6 is reasonable. I don't want them on the street, you know, at 4 o'clock when kids are coming home from school. I would prefer them to get their business done early in the day and be
Before 3.
gone. Well, I don't know that you can say before 3, but that
Right.
would be kind of, I would prefer early rather than late, I
Phil
guess.
or Chris could weigh in on this. 6 AM might pose a problem in the wintertime.
Where's
Snow
that?
plowing. They may be working around town while we're trying to get roads
Well,
cleared.
they are not, I mean, they have to be now because mine's out there at the night before for pickup at 6.
They're there at 6?
My company is there at 6 AM.
Yeah.
Not an issue, Chris?
Thanks.
I swear right at him.
The wing?
Hit it hard, I need a new can.
We go through that every year with sending reminders to residents not to put cans in the road and that.
Right.
Still do, so we just.
When is
They're
general?
gonna either be there overnight or they're gonna be there all day. I don't know, is one better than the other?
What does our current noise ordinance say for like,
6 AM, isn't it?
is it 7?
7,
So-
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that a garbage truck constitutes heavy equipment, though.
Not like a road grader. I mean, can I hear it? Yeah, I can hear it, but I'm awake.
Back up, you will get a call.
Oh, with a beep, beep, beep.
Yep, that'll get people calling really quick.
Really?
Yes, it will.
I was grinding stumps 2 years ago at 6:30 and my neighbor came over and yelled at me.
It's a little early.
I rented it for the day though, I got my money out of it.
The day means the
Sent
day.
it home with no teeth left too, back wherever it was. So recapping, with recycling, not requiring it unless the state requires it. Right, I mean, we have to comply with state
I think
stuff.
it is state statute.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad,
doesn't have to be weekly.
no, it's,
have to be on the same rotation.
it's bi-weekly, right? Well, mine is bi-weekly.
Put out a
Right.
recycling bin in the center of the town and say that's your recycling program.
Yeah, my dad tried to cancel his recycling and the garbage company threw a fit. My dad said, well, I'm not bringing the can out of the road. So finally, they just came and got it.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. So,
right, what other direction do you need, Greg? I don't know if we have given you enough or,
Yeah, we need to add some details on the basis of revocation or suspension, changing 6 AM start time. We'll verify the recycling. Maybe we'll just talk at a staff level. I see this coming back again for another discussion. It's not ready for approval. You know, what do we want a recycling schedule to look like? Is it every other week? Is it, you know,
We
weekly.
reach out to the companies that we know are in town and tell them we're gonna put this in place.
I think that's
Give them an
the appropriate thing to
opportunity
do.
to give any input on what kind of agreements they might have. in other
When we have something that is more, I would say, ready for adoption, then I think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
We'll try to figure out who's all here. We'll
And
do our best.
do we say, unless you have this many clients in town, we don't want your trucks here?
No,
Can't do that?
no. I think Rick's example of the door-to-door stuff, if that's what they're gonna do eventually, they will be bought out, right, by one of the people already here.
Yeah.
Which is what we would encourage, just a natural attrition of the number of companies doing it.
Well, I mean, at some point, there are so many trucks that have to be on the road to service everybody in town. Whether it's one company here 5 days a week or two companies here 3 days a week or whatever it is, it's gonna be as many trucks as it takes.
Are you looking
At some
for
point.
a single day pickup?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, we should talk about that then. What would you wanna see there?
Yeah, I think it's the same number of trucks, Robin, but it's how many trips they're making down that street, right?
Yeah.
And nothing we do is changing that right now.
Nope.
Just gonna put them all on the same day or same 2 days, whatever it is. Or if it's open, I mean, part of the reason for this too is to limit the number of days where we're impacted by garbage trucks.
Right.
So we say we have pickup available Monday, Wednesday, that's all we're gonna offer in our city? Make it work?
Yep.
I would like to start by knowing who's here and how often they're here.
Right.
Yeah, I think
See what
that's.
we're looking at.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice to know?
Isn't it mostly Mondays and Tuesdays?
Mine's Tuesday.
Mine's Monday.
That'll probably be the biggest hurdle again to 1 day. To be honest with you.
Right.
Well, and I don't know that I wanna see them jacking around each other on streets either. I mean, you know, I'm in a cul-de-sac. I don't wanna see somebody trying to get through my cul-de-sac. Then they're gonna back up as they're having to get around each other.
Right.
So, yeah, I think knowing who they are and when they're here right now. And I don't know if they'll share how many customers, how many clients they have. I mean, then we can maybe say, hey, maybe we do Monday and Wednesday, and we have just this company here on Tuesday or something, I don't know.
Okay. Why don't we get that information, then you'll have that data to decide where you wanna go.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember who's not merged or on their own,
Yeah,
other than what I see, cause.
Right.
yeah, I mean, I have Ace, they're weekly, but recycles every other week.
That's exactly what I have too.
Yeah. And thank God for neighbors who put their cans out earlier, I'd never know when I'm recycling.
I like Ace because they come at 10:30 in the morning, so I can forget.
Oh,
I used
see,
to
and
have the one that
that's-
came at 6:01 and I would forget, and I'd hear the brakes backing up. I'd be jumping up out of bed, and that was horrible.
Yeah, that too, was at 6 o'clock at my house.
Inappropriate things as I'm running down the street, pushing my cans out there.
Underwear.
Although I have to say, I forgot once, and they came and got my can out of my driveway and took it down.
I've had that happen too.
Yeah. So,
Well, I think we have enough direction.
Okay.
Tell Mike we scrapped it.
yeah, I definitely don't want to see anybody who's gonna have a bag system like St. Cloud has, where you,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
That's theirs.
horrific,
Yeah.
yes.
Can we require receptacles?
No,
Is that in here?
that is in here.
That is in here,
I
yeah.
thought so, yeah. That's good.
Well, and I think the haulers like it too, because they don't have to get out of the truck, it's just automatic, they lift it, throw it in, it's,
How
you
many
know,
of
it's a
those
reduction of
bags,
work comp
right.
claims on their part, accidents.
Dogs
It
get
is what
into
you
them,
have.
or, yep.
How many bags do
Or
you
I
have?
overstuff them.
I think we're
yeah.
overstepping by not allowing mining waste and auto hulks, though. That was kind of funny.
Mining waste.
Mining waste. All right. Roundtable.
I don't have anything.
What's the post office update?
You're funny.
Well, I sent somebody your way
Yeah.
who was doing that school project.
Oh, yeah.
And she said there's something coming down the pipe.
Well, we can't announce where, but like 3 days after the FOIA request was filed, I got the friendly email that said, wow, we can just work together. We don't really need to do this. And we're negotiating on a piece of property right now. And I'm like,
They though?
cool, yeah, they are.
Okay.
I can verify that.
I don't believe
I'm like, that's cool, when are you gonna have the FOIA request done? We're not, I think that kind of pushed them, so they have made an offer on a piece of property. Wouldn't be hard to guess if you just drove around town and looked to see what signs are up, property for sale. There's not a lot of them, as you can probably imagine. But they're,
I thought they didn't buy property.
Right.
I thought they
Just
only
rental only.
leased. Yeah.
yeah, you tell me.
Oh, they're lying.
No, I don't think they're lying.
No?
I am very confident they have made an offer on a piece of property. He said their plan would be to locate delivery and retail. But it can take them
6 years?
6 to 9 months to get
Oh my God, I thought
permanent
he was gonna say
funding.
years.
Because if they buy the property, that's temporary funding. Because the post office could buy the property and then not get the funding to build something. So I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. Like, I pushed them and said, if you're buying the property, like, we're gonna streamline stuff, let's get this done so you can start building. And they're like, whoa, it could take us 9 months to get the funding to build. So I'm very, like, happy this is happening, and it is legitimate, but we don't have a signed contract, so they won't. They said if they get a signed contract, then they will announce to the public what their intentions are.
You realize by the time they build this thing, they're gonna be calling it the Mark Kolbinger Memorial Post Office.
I will likely be 6 feet under. There's no doubt about that. But I think the FOIA request was a game changer. They've been stalling way too long that was too much of a coincidence for me. I don't really believe in coincidences, so hopefully, like, at some point here soon, they will make that announcement. I had a guy contact me last Friday, said he drove them on a Cello to pick up his packages, and the lady was going on break, and the postmaster couldn't help him during that break. And that was true. That's like a union rule, so he drove all the way there and then had to wait 15 minutes. And they were short-staffed that day, but they're a larger post office, so I found out in the size of Becker, they would be able to cover because there's some kind of a threshold with how many people are there. But their current intention is to bring operations back here as well, which I think is good. And now we just gotta wait for them to accept the real estate agreement.
So they're buying brownfield real estate, greenfield real estate that they're gonna put a building on, is that the idea, or would they be?
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to do a full build,
Yep,
not a remodel?
correct.
Okay,
Yep.
potentially.
Their plan, if it goes through, is they would build and own the facility.
Interesting.
And it's maybe as far that way as you can go in the town. So. That's what I know.
I don't care where it is.
I want it on this side of the tracks and.
Yeah, you do, it's in Monticello right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, true. I want it in Becker.
So, yeah, I will definitely, things are looking more promising than they have for the last 16 months, but believe it when we see it.
Yeah.
In my heart, I want to believe they're not so terrible that they would buy land and then not do it, but that's their process.
Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
So,
Okay.
but I think staff is very ready if they do follow through on the purchase and reach out. Because that was my question. I said, why are you buying something before you even know
Right.
if we would permit it and have that be an allowable use.
Yeah.
They're like, well, this is our process. You know, so.
Because
I
if
mean,
we want it bad enough, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle of a development.
Right.
Okay.
In front of your house.
Right, like,
So, but, yeah, so I just told them we're ready and willing and we will move as fast as we can expeditiously to review their plans and so hopefully it happens.
Okay. Does anybody else hear that noise behind us?
behind us.
Sounds like a drum beat every couple minute or couple, like that.
Behind us, right?
I hear it. It's over there. What might be echoing? What is it? Oh, thank you. Not losing my mind.
Smelling burnt toast.
I heard nothing. Yeah,
Oh, the voices in my head are too loud.
that's my water.
hear that.
I hear it behind me, but yeah. I never heard it before the construction, so I was just curious. Yeah.
Is someone in the safe room?
All right.
I got one thing.
Yes.
Something more to think about and have future discussions. So data center, so there was a city council down in southern Minnesota, I believe. They were looking at building a data center down there. The entire council lost their reelection. I don't know, somehow they had it where they were all up, or 4 of the 5 or something like that were up. They had that, and then seeing, you know, how many people are showing up in like Monticello, and it, you know, when it was the Lakeville or Farmington situation, I mean, theirs was it was kind of a unique bird, and it was kind of a, you know, I can understand, you know, they were in a different set of circumstances as everybody else. I would really like to know, other than the people I talk to, I guess, I'd really like to know the pulse of the community. Where people are really, not just a few vocal folks like on Facebook or a few people that contact
I was
us.
just gonna tell you, you just post
yeah.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
you'll find out.
Well, that's, it's gotta be true then.
Right.
So, but I would really, you know, I mean, we've put a lot of staff time, a lot of money into it over the years. I would really like to know, that, you know, I mean, I'm in favor of it. I could sit and, you know, describe it technically. I think it could be done safely. It's not, you know, every one of the objections, I mean, a lot of the environmental movements are behind a lot of this, and it's, you know, they have different motives than most of the people that probably have, you know, the objections are not the same, but at the end of the day, I really wanna know that this is something the community does embrace. If it's not, I don't wanna be doing something that 70% of the community is against. You know, and I don't know, I think if you don't get out ahead of this, and if you don't have your, you know, you almost have to do a PR campaign in a sense. I mean, it's and not necessarily a PR in the sense that you're trying to put lipstick on a pig, but more of you want to get out in front of, you know, with the facts, as opposed to, you know, this is why we think this is a good idea. This is why folks support this. Because I think it's there. I think it's a story that can be told. I think it can be done safely. I agree with it, but it seems like some of these communities really get caught where they maybe forge ahead and they don't understand the headwinds that are against them, and they don't, you know, necessarily, maybe they, you know, there's less support in the community than maybe they think they have. So I really want to, not that I want to start a really long, lengthy discussion, and I kind of want to tee this up for everybody, is I really want us to be ahead of that. You know, if we do get, you know, knowing that say the Microsoft project is, you know, I mean, that could flare up at any minute, but I mean, as of right now, we look at it and say, well, it may be a little bit yet. But before that all starts getting hot, I'd like to be on the forefront of that, I guess.
Yeah, so I would say, like, what I've run into when I made the Facebook post about testifying at the state, and it just wasn't about data centers, it's any large electrical user. And, you know, I heard things like, you're supposed to be working on the post office, now you're trying to sneak a data center. And I'm like, well, that predates me by, 7 years. But part of the issue I see is non-residents, I think, is a big issue. We've all heard of taxation, no taxation without representation. I reverse that and say no representation without taxation. I mean, if you live 3 miles out in the township,
I don't have time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you as a community member and everything, but it's not gonna affect it's not paying 68% of your tax bill, right? So that I see as a big thing. What I did is I went through Facebook and looked at the negative comments and I reached out to some people. So that Saturday, I reached out to one lady and said, I can be at your house at 2:00, bring all your neighbors. 8 people showed up. And I sat there for 2 hours and asked questions, or let them ask questions. And I told them, it's really hard, they're like, you're gonna use all our water. And I'm like, well, first of all, we don't know what the proposal is. We don't have a proposal. And that's the hard part, because there can be anybody from waterless technology to some data centers that use a ton. And I said, I'm not coming here to tell you all data centers are great or good, because I think those people are full of crap. But if you're someone that tells me all data centers are bad, I think you're equally as full of crap, because there's such a wide range of water use. There's such a wide range of, noise. There's such a wide range of electrical use and what they pay for. So I don't disagree, but I think it's really hard to have a general discussion, because after we talked about all the scenarios, and this woman had been pretty, I don't want to say belligerent, but pretty close to it, and she goes, well, I guess I got my undies in a bunch for nothing. And I said, well, I'm glad I could answer your questions. And I told them straight out, I'm not trying to change your mind. But I said, we have to do our fiduciary responsibility as elected officials to look, right? We could have a data center proposal that comes in and we all look at it and go, absolutely not. I don't like the way they're gonna do this, this, and this, right? I think there's a big difference between a company coming in and making a long-term commitment to our community that they're gonna own it for a long time, versus someone that's gonna build it on spec and try to rent it out to other people. Because they're simply a landlord at that point, right? And they might not have the same commitment. So I agree with what you're saying, Rick, but I think it's really hard, because we don't have a proposal. So anything we'd be talking about is a complete unknown. It's right. We would be guessing, well, how much water could it use? Well, between 0 and 1.5 million gallons a day or something. I mean, there's such a big difference that I don't know at this point how to, do the difference, other than to say, once we have a proposal, we're gonna look at all those things. We would look at the effects on water. We know we don't have a ton of water. I mean, we're gonna talk about a water plant pretty soon. So I agree with your sentiments, but I don't know how to have those conversations. I know I'm not gonna have them on Facebook, because everybody's really brave. And then you go sit at their kitchen table and they're like, the one guy, oh, I'm really sorry I called for you to be voted out. I go, that's fine. You don't even know if I'm running again. But I said, the things that you said just could be factually true, or they could be factually 100% false. Well, I just worry about what I see in other communities, right? And people have sent me, videos. Well, look at the noise pollution from this, and literally you're 50 feet away from the data center. Well, I probably wouldn't want one 50 feet behind my house either, but we have such a unique location, right?
Highway 10, the tracks.
Highway 10, the tracks.
At this point, I've heard more people who were disappointed when the Amazon project fell apart. And I guess I don't even recall one single person coming up to me and saying, I don't want a data center.
Well, the funny part is I knocked on a lot of doors during the campaign, like hundreds. And I got one email in the first 14 months that after I was elected, knocked on hundreds of doors, never heard the term data center. First 14 months, I got one email from a woman who said, if you lived as close to this proposed one as I do, you'd be against it. And I went on Beacon on Sherburne County, and I'm like, I actually live 150 feet closer than you do. And I'm not concerned, but we would have things in place, right? I know staff fielded one call this week and they pointed to the AUAR. There is a ton of stuff in that almost 400-page document. We've done the work, right? It's a permitted use currently, so. I mean, I agree. I just think it's really hard to determine what's really local, so I agree with you, like, what do the people here actually want, but,
The fact that it's in a business district makes a huge difference, I think, to people. Yeah, I don't want it by a lake on the side of the road or, you know, in a heavily populated area, but where it would be located here, it just doesn't draw very much attention so far.
no.
That could
No,
change.
and I think there'll be anything, right now environmentally, there's organized opposition. After that, I don't know if I've mentioned it to council, but I convened a roundtable of local realtors, so I invited 10. 3 of them I think couldn't make it, and I just kind of tried to pick different companies. Some of the people I knew, some of the people I don't. They said, in their mind, these are professional realtors, many with decades of experience. They said the biggest threat they see is not replacing Sherco's tax base. They used to hear from people, I have to be in Becker because it's lower taxes. That's not true anymore.
No.
It's comparable. They used to hear, I have to be in the Becker School District. They're not hearing that anymore. These are what the professional realtors are telling me. And they said they have had documented cases where they've had to discount homes located right next to a solar array because people are not wanting to live right next to a solar farm. So when you're talking the professionals that, I hear a lot about it's gonna kill our tax base, it's gonna lower our property values. They said the same thing about Sherco in the 1970s. And what did that do to everybody's tax value? Skyrocketed. So I feel like we have a lot of defensible positions we've looked at. We have some comparables from other places where they've built data centers responsibly, not in the middle of a town. And it's not holding true that it's ruining people's home values. And if the realtors are telling me that, I think that's a plus as well.
Agreed.
I don't know, if there's a way we can, I'm all for gathering that input. I'm all for not having 300 people, many of which aren't our residents, getting into an auditorium somewhere, to call me an idiot. You can do that in a group of 8 easier, with specifics. I've done a lot of research on it. My biggest concern is the noise piece. The water doesn't scare me at all. I think large users of water, they're gonna go out of business. That's just not the new technology. If you want a data center and you don't wanna pay more for your electricity, you should build it in Minnesota because they have tariffs and they have a state law saying those companies can't charge us. You can build it across the border in North Dakota, South Dakota, or Wisconsin, and those companies can charge everybody on the MISO grid more. So I'm not saying the tariffs are a good or a bad thing, but consumers in Minnesota are protected from the spikes in electrical, increases versus other states aren't. But
Well, if anybody reaches out, I'll send them your way, because it's more than I know.
well, they can show up I'll have a roundtable coming up next month again, and I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody that's willing. Like I said, if you think they're all good or all bad, I think you're wrong. And that could be anything. Could be a garbage company, right? Could be a home builder. I mean, they're all different, have different things, so. But maybe there's a way, once we get that proposal. That's the other thing. I mean, they would have to go through a lot of state permitting, and we would obviously have meetings and there would be input, but we're not trying to rezone land. Everyone I've watched that has fallen into that trap, Monticello is trying to rezone land. We don't need to rezone what we're doing.
Right, that's, yeah.
But it's a good discussion to have. Anything else?
I got nothing.
All right, let's adjourn at 6:34. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, everybody to my house to finish lawn work.
I'll do yours if you do mine. I gotta go back to work.
Oh.
Work some magic on it.